All right, so a couple points first, and I really shouldn't have to say this, but I'm going to, because all you trolls are going to be in the comment section, type, 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 um, basically saying all these things to begin with. So I'm just going to go ahead and address them first. Um, Number one, I am a Cleveland Browns fan. If you didn't notice by, what's on my wall, I am a Browns fan. So, before you get in the comment section calling me biased, saying my opinion doesn't matter, um, look at this from the fact that I am a Browns fan. I'm trying to look at it from a broad perspective. However, yes, I am a Browns fan. So that's number one. Number two, yes, this is my opinion. You don't have to agree. You don't have to change your mind completely, but this is an opinion. I'm telling you my thoughts. This is what sports media is. So you don't have to agree with me, but you're watching this video for my opinion. Like it or not, that's just the truth. So this is not exactly what you have to think. I'm telling you what I believe and what I think. Um, and number three, if you're a person who is not open minded, and basically you can't handle the fact that somebody disagrees with you, um, first of all, before you leave, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Um, but if you can't handle it, just leave, um, because you're not going to like this. Um, and I'm not saying that what I'm going to say is not fair or it shouldn't be, um, taken seriously. But I'm saying there's going to be a certain group of people who are going to be ridiculous because there always are these people. So yeah, let's just get into it. In case you've been living under a rock, the whole issue with Thursday night football last week, um, with the whole Miles Garrett, Mason Rudolph, there's been more details on it. I've done a little bit of it before more of these details have come out. I did make my walking home from work videos, um, or one video about it. Um, but I've never really gotten a chance to share my full thoughts on the whole situation as we know it currently. And I'm not sure if this is going to turn into a rant or not. It just might. Warning you now. But here's the bottom line. Before I get into my thoughts, regardless on if it happened, yes or no, I don't think Miles Garrett should have swung the helmet at an unprotected Mason Rudolph head. That's just my thoughts. Either way, I know I maybe can't put myself in the shoes of Miles Garrett if it indeed happened. Um, but that's just my opinion from an outsider's view. I still think it could have been handled differently. I would have been perfectly fine with fists and not helmets. I'll just put it with you that way. So, anyway, first of all, the appeals have come back. Pouncey, not Pouncey's, um, got reduced to 2 games instead of 3. Marquise Pouncey, of course, the guy who is famous for his post helmet swing UFC impression. Came around the corner, just started swinging and kicking. I know there's a couple people, especially Browns fans, who say, "Oh, well, Pouncey's kicking at him and punching at him. What's up with that, NFL?" Um, I'm on the assumption that if that was my quarterback, and barring the details, if I seen somebody swing a helmet at my quarterback, I probably would have done the same thing. Agree with what he did or not, I don't think you can deny the fact that he's not completely out of line to do that. I think that's just human nature, especially when your quarterback is looked at as your team leader. and the guy you look at for the leadership role, he's your brother, whatever. Um, I'm not surprised that he did that, and like I said, I can't blame him. So the NFL reduces it. I think they reduced it just out of the fact that they could see where he was coming from, whereas before it was just kind of like, well, here's a guy kicking and punching. Let's give him 3 games. Now they've kind of looked at it from a different standpoint. Of course, Myles Garrett is the same, an indefinite suspension. Um, and he's going to have to seek reinstatement next year, or at least in the offseason. So, of course, he's out for the rest of the season. That includes if we hopefully get a chance to make the playoffs, which, it's going to take a lot. But as crazy as it sounds with the season that's gone on so far, it's not completely um, out of sight. Okay. Um, and then, of course, Larry Ogunjobi has stayed the same with his 1 game. He shoved Miles down, or not Miles, Mason down, um, somewhat after the situation was not over, but it was on its, conclusion side of things. Um, so, of course, the talk, if you have not seen it, during the appeal of the suspension, Myles Garrett said that, according to him, um, that he's alleging that Mason Rudolph used, in his words, a racial slur um, before the brawl broke out. And I'm using his words. Those were the words he used. Um, Here's what I'm going to say before I get into my thoughts. The facts are we don't know. Okay, the NFL has come out and has said there's no evidence supporting that claim that Garrett had. Um, we never will know. That's just the bottom line. I don't think we ever are going to hear the audio or basically see for ourselves yes or no. And that's yes as in we seen the words and or heard the words, or no as in we seen the full clip, the full incident, and there was nowhere where we could see or hear Mason say it. So, and I've heard this. I've heard, well, okay, he's innocent until proven guilty. Um, Here's the thing. With that, um, hold on a second. I wanted to shut my door real quick. In case you didn't know, it's kind of when you have distractions when you're trying to do a video like this, it's really annoying. But anyway, um, so with this whole situation, like I said, we're not gonna know yes or no. Um, right now, what it is it's one man's word versus another, and I think that's all this is going to be, and all it's gonna ever be. I don't think anything's going to come out of this strictly because it's a horrible, horrible look for the NFL. Um, if it comes out that Mason Rudolph clearly called him the N word, which is probably what was used, a racial slur, that's what that means. The NFL is going to look like they defended the white guy compared to the black guy who retaliated. That is a bad, bad, bad look for the NFL. They've been highly criticized for many different decisions. The NFL is, of course, a very predominantly black league. Um, it's not a good look for the NFL. And that's partially why, even if there is audio on this that is there, and by the way, it is there. I don't care what they say on the NFL is basically saying, guys, we're mic'd up, but they weren't recording. Yeah, okay. Um, I don't think it's ever going to come out just based on that fact of how bad of a look it is. Now, into my thoughts, and this is where toes will be stepped on, especially if you're one of these people who is a Steeler fan who can't be told that you're wrong. Here's what I think happened, And like I said, you don't have to agree, you don't have to disagree, you can stay mutual. Um, Here's what I think truly happened. And I know this is going to sound biased. Um, but anyway, my thoughts are that when Miles Garrett tackled Mason Rudolph to the ground, when Miles was on top of Mason a little bit longer than he probably should have been, um, at the time when Mason started ripping at the helmet, or maybe even before, short in that general time frame, I think Mason said something that triggered the reaction that Miles had. Go back and look at that part of the whole fight. Look at what you have to look at in these situations is the actions. Look at the body language that's going on between the two players. Miles Garrett goes from tackling a guy a little bit more aggressively, kind of rubbing it in his face of we dominated. That's how I looked at it, at least. It goes from that to furious, and not just furious, furious with intent. I have said in the past in a different video I made on this that Miles Garrett, this is out of his character. And people were saying, well, you can't defend Miles Garrett based on how his character was. That doesn't mean he didn't do it. And by the way, I agree with that. I completely understand. However, here's what I'll say. You don't go from calm, well, not calm, but you don't go from mad to furious to attempting to kill somebody just for no reason. Browns fans have speculated it was because of the nut shot. If you go back, the pictures look worse than the video. It kind of looked like as he was carrying him up, the foot came forward. We can speculate on that all day. But to me, going back and looking at it slow, looking at what has been alleged, looking at the body language, you can't deny that something took it from here to here. I don't care who you are. You can be the most diehard Steelers fan in the world, Mason Rudolph apologist. I don't care. You cannot deny that it goes from here to here in a certain moment in time. And I don't, everybody's saying, well, Pouncey was around. Well, Villanova was around. Villanova, whatever. Other linemen were around. I don't think it happened then. I think it happened when Myles Garrett, well, when Mason Rudolph was on the ground and Myles Garrett was here and Mason started ripping at the helmet. Look at that camera shot. Nobody was around. Not, well, I wouldn't say nobody was around, but nobody was close at that time. At that exact time, there was nobody close. Now, I'm not saying I have absolute proof that that's when that happened. Clearly, I don't know. The only people that know are going to be Myles Garrett and Mason Rudolph. That's just the bottom line. But to me, it's very evident to see that in that moment, something escalated it. Before this came out, we had said, well, it was Mason trying to rip at the helmet. That's what escalated it. Okay, that would make a little bit of sense, but it wouldn't make enough sense to swing the helmet. And I know I did say that Mason escalated it. I still stand by that. But with the new information that has come out, you can't you can't say that Mason Rudolph is for sure a racist. I'm just going to say that. But what I know is I've been on football fields where borderline racist stuff has been said to other African American players on our team. It happens. We can pretend like this is a perfect country all we want. But the bottom line is it does happen. Maybe it hasn't happened to you if you have played the sport, but the bottom line is football, the game of football is a very physical, violent sport. It just is. And when the game is practically over with 8 seconds left, first of all, the play never should have been a pass. Should have just ran it, ran the clock out. You lost. You got blown out. Sorry. Um, you know, and I'm not blaming Mike Tomlin or whoever calls plays for the Steelers um, about the whole situation, but I do think that there's many points where this could have been avoided. Um, my 100% beliefs is that Mason said something that triggered this in that moment where Miles was on top of him and Mason started ripping the helmet. That's my thoughts. Like I said, I don't have any exact evidence to say, well, you hear that? That sounds like, Um, and here's the whole situation here. And I know a lot of people aren't going to want to watch a 20-minute video. Um, but I want to make this clear. And if you still are watching, thank you. I appreciate it. In fact, here's the thing. If you still are watching right now, type in the comment section OH and I'll respond IO. But anyway, so sides from all that, people are saying, well, hey, come on. If this was true, why wouldn't you have said it after the game? The whole world's calling you a horrible person, wanting you in jail, saying you should never play the game again. Why would you wait so long? Here's the deal. Have Browns players come out and said, yeah, he told me Thursday night, he said this. No, that has not happened. But in the post-game press conference, Freddie Kitchens was asked, was anything said or done, according to Myles, that, and I'm paraphrasing, that escalated it to make him do that? Freddie Kitchens said, paraphrasing, what was said from Myles to me in that conversation they had will stay between them. Once again, that's not saying absolutely, yeah, something was said, but to me, that is saying that there was something talked about. And I don't think it was just, hey, well, you can't do that. I think something was, what happened? And I think Freddie Kitchens knows. Freddie Kitchens was asked today, hey, Freddie, I know you said it's going to stay between you and Myles, but the whole world kind of knows what is alleged. Would you say, what was told? No, I'm Freddie Kitchens. I'm not going to come out and I'm not going to tell what's said between me and my players. Freddie Kitchens is an idiot. I'm sorry. Freddie Kitchens is an idiot. If he would have come out and said, I'm not going to get into everything that was said between me and Myles. However, this did come up. Maybe this whole thing, this whole narrative gets changed as far as, well, he never said anything before. And by the way, here's the thing. It's so easy for these players to get on Twitter afterwards and just say, this Emma Effa called me this, and that. Myles Garrett, going back to the character thing, he's not the kind of guy who would just jump on and go off like that. I know. Stop typing in the comment section. I got it. But here's the thing. If you know anything about, and I don't know him personally, but Myles Garrett is not the person who would immediately just try to ruin this man's life as far as his reputation. And I know people are going to say, well, he tried to kill him. Calm down. I got it. And by the way, let me just address this right quick. And I hope you all who are like this, I hope you all are watching. All you dumb, idiot white kids who keep walking around schools saying the N word like it's cool. I know this might be funny. Some people might be laughing, but here's the bottom line. It is true. Stop, you freaking idiots. People, regardless on, it's become jokes and memes. The bottom line is racism is real. It happened in our history. It's a horrible thing. Um, Stop making a joke out of it. Okay. And I know black people will use it in their language. You know, hey, but when you're a white kid who lives in the freaking suburbs trying to act cool, shut up. That's all I'm saying. Stop. Because what's going to happen in the 2034 draft? Well, I don't even know how long that is. But anyway, 2034 draft. And a white quarterback out of what school gets drafted number 1 overall. Okay, they go back and they see these kids Instagram posts from years back and this kid's, calling other kids the N-word. It's stupid. I know we're going to laugh. People are going to laugh at me saying this, but it's true. Stop. It's not a joke. Like, I get it. I'm not black. I know maybe I can't say, firsthand that I've been affected, but the bottom line is it happens. It's real. And stop. That's just the bottom line. Back on topic. Myles Garrett. This is what he said um, after the NFL rulings came back. He said, I was assured that the hearing, this is on Twitter, and I wish I could put it up there. I'm reading it off of my phone. You can go look for it for yourself. He says, I was assured that the hearing was space that afforded me the opportunity to speak openly and honestly about the incident that led to my suspension. This was not meant for public dissemination, nor was it a convenient attempt to justify my actions or restore my image in the eyes of those who I disappointed. Quote, I know what I heard. Whether my opponent's comment was born out of frustration or ignorance, I cannot say. But his actions do not excuse my lack of restraint in the moment, and I truly regret the impact it has had on the league, the Browns, and our fans. Now, I know people are saying, of course, Myles Garrett would say that. What's he going to say? But to me, this reassures what I thought of. I don't think Myles Garrett, and I know this is going to be an unpopular opinion, but this is what I believe to be true. I believe Myles Garrett didn't come out and say to the media, hey, he called me this, because I don't think that he wanted to ruin his reputation forever, meaning Mason Rudolph's. I think he held back because he didn't want to, he didn't want to just throw that out there. And people speculated about it. I did. As soon as it happened, I said, there's no way that just happened. Um, and regardless, it doesn't excuse his actions. Um, but and I know Mason Rudolph and his attorney and the Steelers had like 3 speeches on the whole thing minutes after it came out. So to me, that speaks of, hey, we knew this was coming. Um, that ain't a good look to me. And I know other people might say, well, it doesn't matter. But to me, if I'm going to be accused of something, nobody else knows about it except Myles Garrett. Why would it be that ready to go? Um, I don't know. I think like I said, I don't have any clear proof on the whole situation, but do I think it happened? If I had to, yes or no, yes, I think it happened. And I'm not saying that Mason Rudolph is just like that. But in a moment where emotions are high, you sucked all night, you're a terrible quarterback, you had a terrible performance. He's frustrated because Myles Garrett, let's face it, dominated and destroyed him all night. Would I be surprised? No, I wouldn't. And I hope in reality, either way, for either team, I hope it's not true. I hope Mason didn't say this. And by the way, I hope Myles Garrett isn't lying. But one side is. That's just the bottom line. And I don't think we're ever gonna know. Um, so yeah. Um there's not much more that can really be said. If film or audio comes out, hey, um, but I don't think it will. It's an unfortunate situation. It really is. And I believe wholeheartedly that this is something that's going to carry with both of these guys their whole career. Um, I do believe Mason's might not be as long as Miles, but I it's just unfortunate. It really is. Um, and the fact that these teams are playing again in after this week, so it'll be next Sunday. Um, Watch out. That's going to be a bloodbath. And by the way, all you Steelers fans say, no, it's not. Mike Tomlin doesn't have our players play dirty. Well, guess what? Here's the bottom line. The Steelers are not a clean organization. They don't have a clean history of not being a dirty team. Agree with me or not, I don't care. Go look it up. That's going to be a bloodbath. It's going to be rough. Viewer discretion is advised on that game. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think. Let me know. Do you believe it happened? Yes or no? Tell me why. Change my mind if you disagree with me. I'm unlike most people. Believe it or not, I am open-minded. I want you to prove me wrong. Like I said, I hope Mason didn't say this. I truly hope he didn't. Bottom line is nobody knows. So, hey, if you got an argument, go ahead. Get to typing, trolls. So yeah, thanks for watching. We will see you in the next video. Bye.